How's it going, everyone, and welcome to top 5 tips on how to create a good AMV. Prerequisite, my channel reacts to anime and AMV, so I do see a lot of edits. The tips that I'm going to give you in this video are what I believe are going to give you the best chance of making a good AMV. Always remember the added ingredient is your own creativity, and nobody likes boring. So with that said, let's get on to top tip number 1, and that is planning. Yes, I know planning is boring, but what you're going to do if you do not plan is you're going to get anime clips, bash them all together into what looks like a good AMV, and then you're going to upload it and it'll get lost in YouTube's AMV void. And trust me, that is an endless void. So the first big decision for you is what genre or show you're going to use. Knowing what you're going to base it off is the first step in giving you the foundation for the other points that I'm going to give you. If you want examples, there's a horror genre, comedy genre, action genre. Action is obviously a very popular one within AMVs. Having a genre will help with thinking outside the box and finding similar moments from a selection of anime, such as the best fights from your favorite series or the biggest heartbreaks. A show could be Naruto, Bleach, Attack on Titan, covering a tribute to a character or an arc or an anime story that you particularly like. Be careful with these big names though, because there are so many AMVs made every single minute, you don't want your AMV to be lost. You could make an amazing AMV for a series like Naruto, and it could blow up, but you may have more of a chance gaining exposure on smaller series. Next, I would recommend an aesthetic or style to run with. This means whether you're going to have the whole AMV as black and white, sepia toned, inverted, or some sort of filter all over it. You need to keep this consistent though. Nobody likes an AMV that goes from something super vibrant to black and white, then back to vibrant, then back to black and white. It's super slingshotty and you just feel gross and disgusting when you finish the AMV. So don't underestimate also not having any sort of aesthetic on your AMV clips. Base clips sometimes work very well as well. And once you've chosen all of this, you're ready to go to top tip number 2. Video. A big decision which is often overlooked is how you are getting your AMV clips. Remember, this video will reflect on how you look as a creator. So if you check out an AMV and they've used bad software or a bad anime source that's like already in 240p, if you record that, you will always get bad anime clips. Always look for the cleanest and most high resolution clips you can find. Never ever settle and never just be like, oh, that'll do, that's okay, because that's not how you get a great AMV or even a good AMV. Next for video is to decide if you're going to add any text to your AMV. I personally like it when I check out an AMV and they've even attempted it. If you are going to, do not rush the font. Take your time, sit, play around, see what actually suits your AMV. Just because you can put text on there doesn't necessarily mean it's good. Find the right font that will fit into the anime and blend in properly. Because if the font itself looks like it doesn't sit on there, it looks cheesy and tacky. So work on it. You have plenty of time, just practice and it'll look great. On to tip number 3, and that is music. You need to look at the video that you've created so far. What is it based on? What emotion are you trying to portray to the person watching it? And then think about the song that will lift this to a higher level. The songs I'm a fan of in AMVs have substance. They're trying to say something, and what they're saying is aligning to what I'm seeing on the screen. Something that might help when deciding what song would fit your AMV is have a look at your video and see where the climax in. So whether it's action or like the big heartbreak moment, or if someone's passing away, see where that is. Is it at the start, the middle, or the end? Because there's lots of songs that creep in slow and then they get very, well, the bass would drop, right? And then that would link up with your AMV. So maybe a punch or even the heartbreak punch to the heart. You could go that way. And then there's also songs that start really big and they trail off into something emotional. On to tip number 4, and that is extras. I'm under the impression that all AMV creators want to create something great, something they're proud of and that can be appreciated by anybody who watches it. This is your opportunity to add that little something, that little spicy. Make your AMV your own. There's nothing wrong with inspiration. Now let's clarify, inspiration is not copying. That's seeing something that you like and you think, oh, that would work well in this setting. So you like a bass drop of the connection of a punch in an AMV you've seen. So, okay, you can try and match that, but choose a different song, a different video, different special effects. Another example of that little something that I was talking about is the manga transition. A manga transition, if you can find a panel that matches up with your AMV, add it in. One Piece actually did this about halfway through this series. So if you haven't seen it, this might be a spoiler, but hopefully you've seen about halfway through. Luffy punches a celestial dragon, right? But they put it in manga form, and honestly, everyone lost their minds, and it just looks great. Perhaps if your genre is action, when the bass drops in the song, remove the bass and maybe add a bit of comedy. Have a one-liner or a zinger that really will get people laughing, and then go back to the song, because it's just playing with people's emotions. If you're constantly in that action mindset, it may work, but it also may not. But having something go action, oh my god, that was really funny, and then back to action, it'll make people remember your AMV more. These are the types of changes that you really need to be thinking about when creating your AMV. You don't want an AMV that is a carbon copy of hundreds and hundreds of videos out there. You want something unique. I would argue that being unique and bad is actually better than being good and basic, because people have seen good and basic. They want to see irregular, they want to see weird, they want to see crazy. Just roll with it, run with the weird. Another topic in extras is promotion. You want to give your video the best chance that you can to gain exposure and have people appreciate the hard work that you've put into this AMV. To do this, think about the tags that you're putting on your video. Think about YouTube does not know the video that you're uploading. They just think it's another video. They have no idea what it is. So why do they need to promote it to anyone? If YouTube know that your video is an AMV and it's about Attack on Titan or it's about Bleach, then they're going to promote it to people who are interested in AMVs, Attack on Titan or Bleach. For example, you've made a horror AMV. So what tags do you use? Horror AMV, spooky, scary, skeletons? Okay, maybe not skeletons. For Attack on Titan, you would have AOT, AOT AMV, Attack on Titan AMV. Think about if you wanted to find your video, what would you type into your keyboard? Choose a show that's a hot topic right now, one this season or maybe preemptively for next season, so you know a season 2 is coming out, so you make a good one for season 1. So the influx of interest, more people will be able to appreciate your work when they see it because they'll be typing in that anime. Finally, on extras, a little bit of advice for you. Take your time. I see channels that have created and uploaded 20 AMVs, all 20 seconds long. They've just got the anime and they've thrown a song on top of it and uploaded it. I would say quality, not quantity. Just take your time, really work hard, and people will acknowledge the fact that you put time into it. The final section is the avoid section. Now, I would say the biggest no-no for me is honestly flashing lights. Okay, put a flashing light in one part of your AMV. Okay, put a flashing light in your second part of your AMV. But the second that it borderlines on having to put a seizure warning on your video, pick that video up and put it in the bin, because honestly, no one should be watching that. If you don't have entire scenes in your AMV, you don't have to worry about this one too much, and that is copyright. You'll find that maybe your AMV may be flagged for having their content in it, but they won't take it down because they do like AMVs because it promotes their anime, right? Because it's cut up in a way where you can't fully enjoy the story. So you see the AMV and then you run off and you watch the anime itself. But if you have full scenes in there, they may take your video down, so be careful of that. Final big no-no from me, I would say that AMV creators are very, very proud. So they want to put their YouTube name in the corner or big letters or big block letters, and it kind of takes away from the enjoyment of the AMV. If you're going to do this, if you're very, very scared that you've made something amazing and it's going to get stolen or screen grabbed like the big YouTubers when it gets put on a small channel, then at least use a PNG and remove the background. So you can have your YouTube name in there, especially if you use that background. If someone wants to cut that out and put their name there, they could easily do that anyway. So just focus on what looks good and then you can get the clout later on. To sum up, stick to the things that I've mentioned to the best of your ability. If you can't do that, just do your best. It doesn't matter. It's an AMV that you're proud of first. Make sure you like it first, and then everyone else will most likely like it as well. Don't stress too much. It's those who push through that really make something special. If you did enjoy this video or if you learned anything, please drop a like, and thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. I'll see you next time, guys.